Where do ghosts live? If we proceed from simple logic, we can draw a simple conclusion: ghosts appear after someone dies somewhere. However, one must consider that there have been so many deaths in the history of mankind that ghosts should probably be found at every turn. But that's not the case, and here's why. First, not all dead people become ghosts, and secondly, they like solitude, so they prefer sparsely populated quiet places. Thirdly, not every person can see a ghost, only those who have a special psychic gift have this ability. Fourthly, ghosts appear where a lot of emotional energy is gathered. In other words, many phenomena are nothing but the memory of a place. This is especially true of ghosts from battlefields. Judging from observations recorded over the years, ghost sites can be classified in this way. Places of execution. In past centuries, people were often put to death publicly in central squares, but there, oddly enough, they usually do not appear. Executions were also carried out at crossroads, so that the ghost would get confused and could not return and take revenge. Therefore, at ancient crossroads at night you could often see desperate souls scurrying about. When it came to hanging, a thick, sturdy tree, usually an elm or an oak, was usually chosen. Therefore, many such trees later earned the reputation of being bad places where the ghosts of the hanged are found. Cemeteries. It would seem difficult to find a more natural place for ghosts. However, this is not the case because people rarely die directly in the cemetery. Usually there is only one real ghost in a graveyard. This is the guard, the cemetery keeper, the soul of the first of the dead buried in this place. In ancient times, there was even a custom in Western Europe, at the foundation of a new cemetery, in order to ensure its reliable guardian, a person was sacrificed. In addition, in the cemetery you can see and hear ghosts, or rather, the manifestations of ghostly activity, strange rustling, wandering lights, etc. Although sometimes it's just some natural phenomena. There is a special place in the cemetery, particularly the northern, most uncomfortable and darkest part of it. It was believed that their souls will find no rest either on earth or in heaven. They became terrifying ghosts. Ghosts on battlefields. Certainly the battlefield is one of the most suitable places for phantoms to appear. People die in a relatively small space, and many soldiers lie unburied for a long time. Such places include Marathon in Greece, Waterloo in Belgium, Dunkirk in France, the Volokholamsk highway near Moscow, the Kursk Bulge, and many others. On such terrifying plots one can hear the groans of the wounded, the noise of exploding shells, the ringing of bayonets or sabers. Ghost armies tend to continue their battles at the anniversaries of the most heated battles. Ghosts of disasters. Many cases are known in which people have seen the ghosts of victims of some disaster, both after it and before the event itself. It is possible to see victims of the sea and air elements or those who died on the roads. Particularly sensitive people can sense a future catastrophe in any place several days in advance, or even earlier. Old houses. Such places are traditionally considered haunted. It is believed that something happened there in the past that tied people's souls to the place. It could be a murder or other serious crime. A house can also be haunted if people who used to suffer or were just unhappy lived there. What happens in haunted houses? According to witnesses, there are such phenomena. The rooms suddenly appear ghostly figures that can pass through walls. By the way, the ghosts always move the same way as in life, regardless of how the house was rebuilt, which is why sometimes it seems that the ghostly figure is walking up the stairs, which does not exist, which also explains the ability of spirits to pass through walls. The ghost of a deceased relative in such houses can suddenly materialize near his portrait, which at the time will be empty. Marks of incomprehensible origin can appear on the stairs, the floors creak and sounds resembling someone's heavy steps can be heard. Various objects are moving and falling, strange sounds, striking or ringing are heard. The clock strikes 13 times, blood stains appear on the floor, which cannot be removed. Moans or crying are heard. The chandelier begins to swing so violently that its component parts fly off. Ghosts can also dwell on various vehicles, including ships. There are quite a few stories of ghost ships gliding silently across the water. It is believed that a ship inhabited by spirits is doomed to perish. Today, places where ghosts appear are more common and not as ominous as in past centuries. Modern spirits do not avoid large cities, daylight, and street traffic, and often appear in crowds. They can also enjoy the advances of modern technology and the comforts of daily life on a par with the living, though they rarely do so. Several phantoms of unclear origin appear at night in large department stores, in London, Birmingham, Liverpool, in some cities in France and the United States, causing panic among security guards, because when they appear, video surveillance equipment is blocked for 1 to 2 seconds. Both before and now the alarm was declared, but it always turned out to be false, as no one has yet been able to find traces of the intruders. In some cases, the videotape captured slowly floating clouds of faintly flickering sparks, slightly smaller than the height of a human being. The guards sometimes heard sounds reminiscent of duck quacking, but the tapes disappeared for some reason. As some researchers have noted, parapsychologists have also found persistent energy anomalies in the area where the ghosts appeared.